Are you telling me you built a time machine? What about DeLorean?
The Statue of Liberty is kaput. It's concerning.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Welcome to the Cine-Siblings podcast, the podcast where two brothers mock draft a topic within film. I'm Ian.
And I'm James.
And James, what are we drafting tonight?
Tonight,
today,
we are drafting. What's that?
I said, or today, depending on when you're listening to it.
Oh, yeah, well. All right. Tonight, we are drafting iconic movie weapons.
James, what makes a movie weapon iconic to you?
Well, I got the question of what does iconic mean? And so for me, it's a focal weapon, something that captures the minds and imagination of a lot of people. It is not something that is just cool. It's not something that's just novel. It's not something that is like, oh yeah, I kind of remember seeing that. It's that, man, no, that is cool. This is the kind of things that kids drool over to get the toy version of. This is the kind of things that adults want to buy the replica of. This is when you find the movie props, and you're like, oh man, this is what I craved as a kid when I first saw this movie. That is iconic.
Yeah, for sure. And I think in my head, it's one of those things that when you see it, you know where it's from. You know what movie it's from. You know who wields this weapon. And looking at my list, you automatically know where these things are from.
True.
And there's a ton of them, and I'm sure a lot of them are going to be left off. We can only take 10, but the first 3 are going to belong somewhere else. And our new segment, Jamie, tell us about our new segment.
We are for season 2, we are going to institute a new segment called Kid Picks, where we get a kid's opinion. And today we have my son, alias Luke Skywalker. Say hi, hey. Luke.
Hey, Luke. All right, dude. So you're going to pick 3 iconic movie weapons, right?
Yeah.
You're going to tell us about them.
And then you're going to tell us about them. And we cannot pick these. So if they're in my list, you're stealing them from me, or you're stealing them from your dad, right?
Yep. All right. So give us your first number 1 iconic movie weapon.
My number 1 is Stormbreaker.
From Infinity War?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's cool that you get to there's a whole story of how Stormbreaker is made, and with Mjolnir, it's just he just has it the first time you see him. I like how Stormbreaker is made with Groot's arms. The talking tree is the handle and the head of a double-sided axe. I think Stormbreaker's better than Mjolnir because, one, it's sharp, and Mjolnir is just smooth and hard. One thing good about both of them is they both can wield lightning, and Thor needs them to fly. So that's a few of the reasons why I like Stormbreaker. And
Sweet.
Yep.
Sweet. I love Stormbreaker. The first time you see it in action, you don't know if you see Groot do it, and you see him grasp it, and it kind of comes back to life after he expends all his energy. But when it flies through it can also summon the Bifrost, so he can use it to teleport. So the first time you see it in action, it summons the Bifrost. It lands in Wakanda during that huge battle, and he comes in to save the day with Rocket and Groot. And it's seriously I think it's the best moment in the entire film. Goosebumps every time. I get goosebumps just talking about it. And for sure, this is definitely a worthy pick. You know, it's only been in 2 movies so far, but when you see it, you definitely go, "That's Stormbreaker. That's awesome." And I love it. I love the pick.
Nice.
Yeah.
I agree. Yes, I'm more of a Mjolnir guy, but Stormbreaker is definitely a good one. And I think probably more powerful, but doesn't have the same kind of iconic rules that Mjolnir has. But it's
Right.
definitely more of, I think, more of a comic book origin kind of thing rather than Mjolnir, which comes from the mythology. But good.
Yeah.
All right, so Luke, what's
and
your...
hold on.
What?
I just want to mention that the ending of Infinity War, when it goes toe to toe with all 6 Infinity Stones in the Infinity Gauntlet and hits Thanos in the chest. It's pretty powerful weapon. Probably one of the most powerful weapons in the entire
absolutely.
Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Luke, what's your number 2?
Probably like Rey's lightsaber. I like how it was like passed down to 3 different people: Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, and Rey. Yeah. I like.
It's okay.
That's all I wrote.
Yeah. Well,
it's okay. So the hero saber. That's
is that what they call it now?
That's kind of the moniker, because it's been passed down in 3 different Star Wars trilogies. First from Anakin to Luke to Rey. I mean, definitely an awesome pick, because
it is the first lightsaber we see.
It is, yeah. It is such a storied lightsaber, and it's the first one we see. It's not, and then it's lost and brought back and blah blah blah. But there's a little controversy with this being like the Youngling Slayer 5000 in the hands of Anakin, but definitely a worthy pick.
Well, yeah, and when he said it's Rey's lightsaber, I immediately I'm like, no, it's Luke's lightsaber, and then I go, well, it's also Anakin's lightsaber too.
But that's the beauty of Star Wars, is that it's multi-generational.
Mm-hmm.
It's, we grew up with, watching the old, that when we were kids, we grew up watching the original trilogy, but we were kids when the prequels came out. So we're like technically the prequel generation, and now the sequel generation is coming out when he's, a kid, and that's his Star Wars, like that's what he's growing up with. So along with the Mandalorian and all the other like side movies, but yeah,
we had the Ewoks, the Ewok
Caravan of Courage.
Ewok?
I'll show you sometime.
I think they've been mentioned in a book or something like that. They after the Battle of Endor, that these are canonically made in the Star Wars universe, that they were like these kind of movies that exist inside the Star Wars universe.
Oh, funny. That's cute.
Like they're on TV somewhere.
Interesting.
Right.
Huh. All right. Luke,
All right.
What is your 3rd and final iconic movie weapon?
My last one is Captain America's shield. I mean,
Heck yeah.
I like how, like, Tony Stark's dad, I forgot his name.
Howard Stark.
Howard Stark made it for Captain America.
Yep.
And I like how Captain America is able to like throw it and then it'll come back to him. I also like how in the end of Endgame, I like how like he comes back of like an old version of him, and then he passes it down to the Falcon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically
is-
making it another multi-generational weapon,
Yeah.
like the hero saber too.
Right. This is going to be, sort of a legacy thing, and it's traditionally a shield isn't a weapon, but in this case,
My dad says it's a defensive weapon.
it's okay, yeah, and it's not a traditional weapon like you would think. Like a shield is meant for defense, and that's kind of what Captain America does. Is that he uses his shield to defend what America is. That's what his purpose is. That's why he doesn't use guns and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but
still, Captain America does use it as a weapon. Like it's sharp.
But it's not. It is a non-lethal weapon.
It's more about the symbolism of it being kind of defensive,
right? And this is, I think, it's definitely on my list. But I think out of all of these weapons, this is the most symbolic of the character that is wielding it, almost.
That's another thing. I mean, shields, even from very early, probably since antiquity, if you look at the Spartans, where they had the large lambda, on their shields, for Lacedaemonia, which was the Greek word for Sparta, and in the Middle Ages, they wore their coats of arms on those shields. It was identifying. So yeah, shields are and have been and continue to be these great symbolic pieces, because you can throw art on them. And I think, Captain America's shield is certainly, overtly symbolic.
I love that thing doesn't obey the laws of physics at all. is what Spider-Man says as he throws it around, and it bounces, like ricochets off of everything, and he catches it.
But as you can see in Black Panther, things that are made out of vibranium, they just work because it's vibranium.
Right, yeah.
So, all right.
Luke.
Nope.
Beep. Anything else, Luke?
No.
Luke Skywalker.
All right.
All right.
That will conclude our Kid Pick segment.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Say bye.
Bye.
Have a good night's sleep. Awesome. So let's get into the draft. But first, let's play the game to see who goes first. The deck is shuffled, and we are going to do Brad Pitt movies.
Oh, man.
Bradley Pittley. James, go first.
Legends of the Fall.
7.
Fight Club.
Sleepers.
Troy.
Ad Astra.
What's that? The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
True Romance.
The Interview with the Vampire.
Ooh, that was my next one. Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, I lose. Oh, okay. I got it. Ocean's 11.
Okay, go. Oh, I'm not going to be that guy and go sequel. Is he in the sequel? Yeah, Ocean's 12.
Ocean's 13.
Burn After Reading.
All right, I lose.
Inglorious Bastards.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. I get first pick. Woo. All right.
All right, and just to remind everybody, Stormbreaker, the Hero Saber, and Captain America's Shield have already been drafted by Luke.
The kid in the kid pick segment.
Right.
All right. So let's get into round one.
Round one.
And my first round pick definitely is, akin to one of the kid picks, but it's Luke's green lightsaber. This is Luke's lightsaber. He built it himself. And we see it in one of the deleted scenes in Return of the Jedi. But the first time we see it, it is being shot out of R2-D2 and to battle on Jabba's sail barge.
Yep. Okay, I see it, and made all the more iconic in recent Mandalorian lore now with the season 2 finale. So
And yeah,
absolutely.
In the lead up to The Last Jedi, hashtag Ignite the Green was everywhere. They wanted to see Luke light up his green lightsaber again. And I mean, it's just so good. But this is also, we talked about a little bit with Captain America's shield, that it's a Jedi, it's defensive. As a Jedi's weapon is supposed to be sort of the Guardian's weapon. But this is the lightsaber he throws aside when he ends this cycle of violence, and in his battle with Darth Vader and the Emperor, he throws it aside. And I think that just makes it all the more iconic for me. But when you see that green lightsaber, you immediately think Luke Skywalker, because he's the only one. I mean, in the original trilogy, it's the only green lightsaber you see. And it was new and different and awesome when you see it in Return of the Jedi for the first time. You're like, oh, it's green,
Right.
Like,
yeah, and one of the things that kind of separates lightsabers from swords, and this is coming from me as a swordsman and also a Star Wars, nerd too. Lightsabers are, like you were talking about, they're also defensive, and it's not just some, kind of quasi-philosophical idea that we're supposed to have about the Jedi, but they deflect laser bolts. So they are actually used defensively. There's no Jedi shield that we know about. So we have that going for us.
Yeah. So that's my first round pick. Luke Skywalker's green lightsaber from the Return of the Jedi.
Awesome.
Or just Return of the Jedi, whatever.
Yeah. All right. So I am going to venture out and pick my number one pick from the greatest fantasy epic, The One Ring. Sauron's
oh, snap. I didn't, nope, not like, I have 800 weapons written down, and that wasn't even a single one of them.
The one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. This is the central MacGuffin for the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. It is...
Can I get it in Mordor, though?
Yeah, I can do it, but do people really want to hear me do it? Do I need to out myself as that big of a nerd?
Nerd alert.
Nerd alert. But yes, it's and the thing is it's not even seen to be used as the weapon that it is. But really, that's kind of the case with so many different things. But we know its potency is ever present, and it's almost a character rather than a weapon. But that sentience doesn't suddenly make something not a weapon. So, and it's only even hinted at. But yeah.
I see you.
Yeah, but that's supposed to be Sauron in the film. But I'm excited to be able to even draft this one because the films are really quite good. But
And there's a lot of weapons from the Lord of the Rings universe you can pick from.
yeah, I actually tried to pick one per franchise this time.
I kind of did the same thing, but
Okay, we'll see if we conflict or if we're driven to another choice.
yeah.
All right, so snake draft. I've got number 2 pick.
Before we get into number 2, let me turn the fan on in my room because it's hot.
Round 2.
And I'm back.
All right, so my number 2 pick, round 2, is my Star Wars pick is Vader's lightsaber,
The red.
the red. So we see this. It's almost not. I almost didn't pick it, but it was my first lightsaber pick. And I think it was because the red was so symbolic of the evil that Vader was supposed to be representing. And, but I also was thinking, well, Vader was not just about the lightsaber. He did the force choke and the,
Could we have taken the force here?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, just because something's deadly doesn't mean that it's a weapon.
Tell that to a Marine.
It doesn't mean a Marine can't use it as a weapon.
I'm talking like they are considered deadly weapons, right? Navy SEAL.
Sure.
Anyway,
I don't disagree, but I really think it is the Vader's lightsaber is the weapon of one of the most iconic villains of all time, and it sets the tone for all the Sith and the Dark Jedi and the assassins that come out, to have this red lightsaber. I can't remember what the force sensitive assassins were called right now, but
the Inquisitors.
Yeah, that one. Basically the ones who were hunting down the Jedis and stuff. It's like it sets the tone for all that. And quite frankly, after Empire Strikes Back, if you don't look at that weapon and then coming back in, what's the weapon that faces our first 2 iconic hero lightsabers with the original hero saber and then the green one? It's the one that meets it in opposition every time is Darth Vader's saber.
And it kind of mirrors, or is a dark mirror image of the original, the blue hero saber.
Right.
Like the hilt is they are crafted in the same exact way, both crafted by Anakin Skywalker. Spoiler alert.
Wait, Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader?
I am your father. Yeah. So, but it's like this black and gunmetal silver sort of, mirror image of this all silver hilted blue lightsaber. But yeah.
Right. I actually never noticed that they were basically constructed in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
That's good attention to detail.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, it's time for my number 2 pick. And this one is not only a weapon, but it also is a tool that its wielder can use over and over and over as different things. And it is Indiana Jones's whip.
Jacked.
Yes, dude. Like that. I mean, it doesn't get much more iconic than this.
I'm kind of bummed out at you now.
Right. Like lightsabers, obviously, exactly where that's from. But Indiana Jones's whip is just so quintessential to his character now. The hat, the whip, you could put on any like this kind of disheveled looking dress clothes, have a hat and a whip, and you are Indiana Jones for Halloween. And
you've done that for Halloween.
Oh, I did a little more in depth, but yeah. But yeah, Indiana Jones' whip is my number 2 pick.
Yeah, I mean it's something that's actually inspired other things. I feel like it's inspired video games. So like Pitfall, the character swings across pits with a whip. It's like that's the the old Atari game for those of you uninitiated, and I feel like even maybe in some ways has inspired other things like Bionic Commando or the I can't remember the weapon's name in Metroid but it's the same thing. You swing across these things, and I don't know how much exactly it's got the influence on, but those things are happening around the same time. Pitfall, I'm sure of that it's inspired.
Well,
But
what about the Castlevania series, like the Belmont's whips and stuff?
that's possible, yeah,
Because that's more of a weapon.
Right. Well, with the Belmonts and Castlevania, and I'm also, we're both like video game nerds too, so like I think that they definitely play a role in having. I don't think that if Indiana Jones lacked a whip, that we would have the whip in Castlevania. Although I may be wrong, and I am open to correction on it. I just don't think that we would have that, because a whip is not exactly considered a potent type of weapon.
Right.
It is a tool. It was designed to be a tool, to drive cattle. He's basically using a bullwhip, or it is a bullwhip. That's to drive bulls. So I love it. I think it was on my list. Totally jacked. It was in my top 5. So totally jacked me.
Yeah.
All right. Round
3.
Round 3.
So it's my turn, right?
Yep.
All right, dude. I'm gonna take a superhero weapon here. Sicked. Wolverine's claws. No, I didn't go with Mjolnir. I'm going with Wolverine's claws because every adult can pretend by putting 3 fingers up that they have Wolverine's claws. Is the easiest. Or you get 3 pens or pencils and you could shove them between your fingers and you got Wolverine's claws. Like I said with Indiana Jones's whip and a Jedi's lightsaber. See, everybody can do it. And it's Wolverine's claws are essential to his character. Even if they're the adamantium version or the bone claws, he's got. This is iconic. Everybody knows who Wolverine is. Everybody knows he's got 3 claws that come up out between his knuckles, and it just doesn't get much more iconic than that.
I agree. The difference, of course, is that the difference between Wolverine's claws and many of these other weapons that we're going to be drafting and have drafted is Wolverine's claws can't really be passed down. Although, of course, in Logan, we see that they have a kind of a genetic a genetic descendant, let's say. So, it has a what we would call, I guess, a spiritual, or not even real spiritual. It's totally genetic. It passed down, but
she's got 2. She's only got 2.
Right. They're different.
And she's got.
But they're definitely and directly inspired and directly from.
X-23 has she's got a foot claw too, though.
Ooh, I forgot about that. But you're right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Wolverine's claws from the X-Men series is my number 3 pick.
Okay. All right, my number 3 pick, and I was also going comics, and I thought you were going to steal it, but I am going Mjolnir. Mew Mew. Now, look, the thing about this is that myth meets comic books, meets action flicks in the MCU. And Mjolnir is the legend of the weapon, or the myth of the weapon. It's portrayed so wonderfully, but it's literally iconic in that it's a symbol of Norse paganism now, like neo-paganism. People wear that just like you see Christians wear crosses, and of various ilks, and Jews might identify with Stars of David, and Muslims with the crescent moon and star. So it's got some iconography, like literal religious iconography going with it.
Right.
And it's an odd weapon, and even in the mythology, it's said to its handle is shorter than it was intended to be, and that's basically kind of why the weapon is imperfect, and basically kind of why one of the reasons I think that only Thor can actually wield it in the mythology speaking. But in film, it's fun, and it's been this kind of long going thing where, oh well, from Age of Ultron, where the amazing scene where all the Avengers have this, they're at the party and they're trying to lift the hammer,
Yeah.
and then we get the payoff in Endgame, where finally Captain America shows that yes, he is worthy to wield Mjolnir, and we have that in the comics too, where you have Beta Ray Bill first, and I think in the comics you do also get Captain America, and probably some others.
Jane Foster.
Jane Foster does, which I think we'll see as well.
And Thor: Love and Thunder coming to you soon.
Yeah. So, and we'll see if that's any good or not. I don't know. It's kind of like, well, let's see what Marvel does coming out. But Mjolnir is definitely my a good strong number 3 pick for me.
But like Mjolnir has all these incredible moments too, which is why it makes it a worthy pick for sure. It's on my short list, but not in my top 5. But I mean, when he throws Mjolnir and Hulk catches it out of the air, and it takes the incredible Hulk with him, and he can't pick it back up. I wanted Thanos to try to pick it up.
Ooh, that would
have him.
Oh, wait, I think he does.
No, he doesn't. Have him quickly no, because I was like, oh, he's gonna pick it up and it's gonna fail. But they were like, it's already been done. We did that with the Hulk.
Okay.
And then in the first Avengers movie, also is when he like smacks it against Cap's shield, and they figure out that it creates this big, sonic vibration.
And we get the payoff at the end, in the battle scene.
Well, I think they do. Yeah, they do it in Age of Ultron. They figured out how to work together as a team using the hammer and the shield.
Right.
But yeah, excellent pick.
Round 4.
All right, so my number 4 pick, then, since you took Indiana Jones's Web, I am going with the Phoenix-tailed wand, Harry Potter's wand.
Not the Elder Wand.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm going with the Phoenix-tailed wand, and I'll tell you why. Well, first of all the wands in Harry Potter are tools as well as weapons. They're not necessarily weapons, but they can certainly be used as. And I think that's the case, say, with most tools. I think very few things necessarily have to be used as weapons. I think swords, are one of the things that basically they don't have much other use than weapons, or ceremony, but say axes, for instance, in various iterations, tool and weapon, hammers, same thing. Anyway, so the Phoenix wand, or Harry Potter's wand, is present throughout the entire septology, is that what you'd call the 7 books, or
saga?
Yeah, the saga, the octology, if you're talking about the films. And it's present the whole way through. Whereas the Elder Wand kind of shows it's kind of been there, but we don't really know what it was until the end of it. But we know from the get-go that the Phoenix wand, or Harry Potter's wand, that the sibling wand is the one that gave Harry the scar. It's Voldemort's wand. So it's got that.
Curious.
Right.
Very curious.
Oh, John Hurt.
Rest in peace, buddy.
So we have this really I mean, that makes it iconic to me. And so also when my son, we took him to Universal and we decided that, hey, you know what, we're going to splurge and we're going to let him get that pick a wand out that kind of interacts with all the stuff. And um, the wand that he chose was the Harry Potter wand. So to me, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, well, you know, a lot of the times we don't get a real sense of what the wands actually look like. But I mean, that one, I really see it as being iconic.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Me and the wife. The first time we went to Harry Potter World, we wanted to get replicas of the wands
Hmm.
of our favorite characters. So we don't have Harry Potter's wand. She has
Hermione's?
no, I can't think of his name. Holy moly, the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, Sirius Black.
She's got Sirius Black. I cannot believe she's gonna kill me. And I've got Severus Snape's wand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, the Phoenix Tail wand is dope, and and you get that moment in the first film when he's in the wand in Ollivander's wand shop
Hmm.
when he gets it.
It's a great scene, and it's
Yeah.
full of wonder, and that's one of the things I really like about the first film is it's really kind of, you know, the plot's okay, but and honestly, I really thought watching the plot that it was Hagrid as the villain. You know, the very first time I ever watched it, because I watched the film before I ever watched or ever read the books.
You watched the book?
Yeah, before I watched the books, before I ever read the books. But then I ended up catching up on the books before the films came out. I think probably before the fourth one, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But like that scene where you know, he's in the wand shop. It's just such an introduction to the world and the whole idea that you know, the expansion of the wand lore and everything like that. You know, maybe I wish happened a little bit earlier, but it kind of makes sense given the age of the characters and things like that. So anyway, that's my go. And I believe we're on round 5.
I didn't get a round 4 pick, bro.
Oh, it's round
Chill
4.
out.
My bad.
So that's before we head into round 4. I mean, head into round 5. I actually get a 4th pick.
Man. No, you don't.
Yeah. I don't need it.
No, you're good.
I'm good. So I tried to make my top 10, top 5 is like, you know, you see it, you know where it comes from.
Mhm.
And my number 4 pick is certainly no exception. And I want to preface it by saying I love horror movies. And I absolutely think this is one of the most creative weapons in horror movies. And it's Freddy Krueger's glove.
You jacked me.
Yes, Freddy Krueger's glove from the Nightmare on Elm Street series is so sweet, dude. Like it lends itself to all the creative in-dream murders that he perpetrates continuously to these teenagers.
I
2
literally,
years, buddy.
in my notes, I wrote iconic horror.
Yes, but yeah, and that's another thing. It's a weapon that he obviously uses to murder people with, but it's also just lends itself to creepy noises and just, yeah. Anybody who hates nails on a chalkboard,
the Foley
knows.
art they did with that is just the kiss. It's beautiful, frightening, and I mean it literally is iconic. You know, you could go. Because I was like, I really should pick something, you know, from the slashers, and I'm like going, okay, well, a knife, you know, horror, you know, horror movies of, you know, kind of a lot of mundane weapons. And it's like, Jason's machete? No, that's so bland. And then it's like Freddy's glove. That's perfect.
It doesn't, like, there's no other horror weapon that is more iconic, right? Because a machete is just a machete, right? This is something he made.
Okay, so and I guess we can call it an honorable mention because the one that I almost picked, and it's not on my list. It's not on my next list or my next number, whatever. Was Bruce
Chainsaw Arm.
Yeah, Chainsaw Arm.
Chainsaw
And
Arm.
from Evil Dead.
Yeah, it's on my short list.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell's playing that role. So that's the only other one that's unique enough to really kind of stand out as an iconic sort of weapon for a horror flick. So, all right. Now you're number 5.
So let's head into round 5.
Round 5.
All right. The DC fanboy inside of me is telling me to go DC.
Oh,
but
yeah. There's DC.
I'm not going to do it. I'll save it for my bench warmers. I'm going to go it's a mouthful. Anduriel, the flame of the west, reforged from the shards of Narsil, the blade that was broken, the sword that cut the ring from Sauron's hand. Aragorn, aka Aragorn's sword from Lord of the Rings.
Indeed. It's a beautiful, beautiful choice.
Yeah, and look, there are tons of replicas of this floating around. You see one on somebody's wall and you go, hey.
Yeah.
That's Aragorn's sword. Most people would just go, hey, that's Aragorn's sword. Maybe because of the promotional material for Return of the King, it was just him holding the sword. But yeah.
I agree.
Definitely
it's a good choice.
I think it's the One Ring is what it is, but out of like the more traditional weapons in the saga, it was either Anduriel or Sting. You've seen it before, haven't you?
Yeah, Sting is the one I thought might go because it did get
it glows and it's definitely cool.
I like it and it was on my short list, but I wanted to stick to one weapon per franchise, and so I'm not going to take that for my pick. So, are we ready for my pick?
We are ready for your pick.
All right, so my round 5 pick, since you jacked Freddy's glove, you've jacked Indiana Jones's whip, I still have a good one. And
there's tons of good ones.
There's tons of good ones, and I'm glad I get to use this one. But it is out of a franchise that I think is fun, but sometimes is a little bit mixed, is the Proton Pack from Ghostbusters.
I knew you were going to say it. When you said a little bit mixed.
Yeah. So, I love me some Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray, and in particular. But the film's just the first two. Let's say the first two were particularly good, and honestly, as cheesy as they are, if you have people who do Ghostbusters reenactments and stuff for parades. We get them all over here for Mardi Gras and St. Patrick's Day parades and stuff, which our St. Patrick's Day parades down here pretty much Mardi Gras parades with just green. And so it's one of those things that's obviously speaks to people, sticks on people. It's kind of a unique weapon in that it's geared for a particular thing, and it only really works for a particular thing, and that is ghosts.
Ectoplasm.
So, it's fun, and I think it's truly iconic in cinema, and with all the spin-offs and everything like that, it's not just we had this. We had the Nerf version of this as kids. I don't remember. Yep. We had one. We didn't have two to shoot at each other. We had one. And I had it. I don't remember. You were pretty little.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was another one of those weapons that at least kids who grew up, late 80s or early 90s, were really, really close to. And of course, I know they're kind of doing it, not a full reboot, but now they're really kind of taking the sequels away from the reboot version and back to the original two.
Make it more of a legacy film, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Legacy film. And so I think that's probably a better thing to say than a sequel for some things like this, where you wait like 30 years. But whatever.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think the proton packs are going to come back and be even more present in the here and now than they were before.
Sweet. I always think of when I think of Ghostbusters, I think of the little ghost trap. But
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, proton packs are sweet. So I jacked you twice.
You did. But then
So
again,
let's go,
that's revenge for the Disney draft.
bro. You you got me bad on that. Everybody got me on that one.
Yeah.
Let's recap our top fives.
Let's
Go
do
ahead.
it. All right. James, my top 5 iconic movie weapons. Number 1, the One Ring. Number 2, Darth Vader's lightsaber. Number 3, Thor's Mjolnir. Number 4, the Phoenix Wand of Harry Potter. And number 5, the Ghostbusters Proton Pack.
And I, Ian, picked number 1, Luke's green lightsaber. Number 2, Indiana Jones's whip. Number 3, Wolverine's claws. Number 4, Freddy Krueger's glove. And number 5, Andoriel, the flame of the west, reforged from the shards of Narsil, the blade that was broken, the sword that cut the ring from Sauron's hand.
Beautiful.
I did it again. I could have swore I was going to mess it up. But I wrote the whole thing out, and I was like, I'm going to say the entire thing.
Andoriel. Nice. All right. Let's do
2.
1.
No, 2.
Okay, fine.
I was going to say 3 because this is pretty quick. But yeah, so I jacked you twice. Go hit me with an honorable mention first. Or a bench warmer.
Okay, so I'm gonna do. Well, I already kind of did it, but so I'll go to James Bond, the Golden Gun.
The Golden Gun.
The Golden Gun from
The
Man with the Golden Gun. So this one, the gun can become all sorts of different, whatever. It's like kind of like assembles to whatever it is. But the really my introduction to this was GoldenEye's the N64 game. So like where it was one shot and it would kill you. So,
one shot, one kill.
Yeah, that was the Golden Gun rule, though, even if you weren't playing one shot, one kill. So it kind of has one bullet in the chamber. But anyway, it's an iconic movie weapon that I thought would be fun to include in an honorable mention.
For sure. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, I have quite a list here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to pick one. Man.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you can take another one.
All right. I was going to go Men in Black's Noisy Cricket.
All right. I don't have to take it. Skip.
All right. So that one's fun. It's kind of almost a throwaway gag in the film, but it's just one of those things that sticks with you. I guess maybe if you watched it as a kid, and it's one of those things of, big things come in small packages. There's a lot of things that you could take, but Noisy Cricket's just a fun one for an honorable mention.
Yeah, for sure. You want to do another one?
Not really, but
okay.
Like you got Conan's sword, you got He-Man's sword, except for the problem is that all the He-Man stuff is like really garbage for cinema.
Yeah, the Highlander katana.
No, why is a Highlander wielding a katana? Like I'm literally a broadswordsman. Like I do
He had a
basket-hilted broadswords.
Well, okay.
No. It doesn't make sense. I don't care why. It's just this katana fanboy crap that I'm not a fan.
But it was given to him. It wasn't his original sword. It was Sean Connery's.
He's a Scotsman playing a Spaniard playing an Egyptian. Why is he wielding a katana? I don't get it. If he was wielding a khopesh, great.
He fell in love with a Japanese woman, and his father her father gave him the sword. Have you watched the movie? Okay, but
Yeah,
that's not my
it's-
choice. I just wanted to talk about it real quick. I'll take set phasers to stun. Star Trek.
I did have that. I did have that on my.
I'll take the
my
phaser
long
from Star
list.
Trek. So,
And, all right.
yeah, I mean, just an awesome piece of tech from the Star Trek series. We gave Star Wars lots of love, but Star Trek's pretty got some pretty cool stuff too.
Well, I think one of the fun things about Star Trek, particularly like with the tricorders, is that like our cell phones do more than their tricorders did if they had the proper attachments for a lot of the things. Like, but Star Trek has done a lot to make like kind of a focus of where technology can go, and I think that's cool. So phasers, cool, bring it on.
All right.
Especially
You may be able to nix me on this one, but the utility belt from Batman.
I would have said you should have gone Batarang, but I don't care.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Utility belt.
Batarangs. The Batarangs are in the utility belt.
Sure.
It's either that or Lasso of Truth for me. But yeah, so Batarangs / utility belt. You got smoke bombs. You got everything you could ever need in the utility belt.
I'm down with it. For at least for an honorable mention in particular. I mean, come on. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. But I'm sure we've left off some great iconic weapons, and even with our rapid fire, throwing.
The Tori Hanzo sword. Kill Bill.
Well, there's also this was it the Sword of Truth from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
The Green Destiny sword.
Destiny sword. What Sword of Truth is that? Is that She-Ra? I can't remember.
I don't know. Han Solo's DL-44.
I couldn't remember the number designation, but
Spider-Man's web shooters. Flip.
Yeah, well, you also got the what is it? The 44 Magnum from
44 Magnum,
Dirty Harry,
the most powerful handgun in the world.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you took Mjolnir over like Iron Man's suit.
Mjolnir has a more storied history in mythology, and I think that it's more fun. I love Iron Man's suit. Don't get me wrong, but it's also constantly changing, so I almost don't feel like it's the same weapon. Iron Man is Tony Stark. Tony Stark is Iron Man. I don't care what anybody says. He's not the suit. The suit's not him. They are one and the same. So like it's almost not a weapon in a sense because it's like constantly evolving.
Yeah.
And it's constantly being cast off and improved upon. Like he's not a very
sentimental guy.
Sentimental guy. I was going to say nostalgic, but it's really sentimental. Like it's, and that's one of the things I've seen in the films. It's like, okay, well, like his suit failed at this point in the last thing. And then like the next film that he's in, like the suit does this and it kind of adjusts for that last thing. So I really do like that. But yeah, don't get me wrong. I love the Iron Man suit. Even the original Iron Man suit, I think totally could be in there. But I think Mjolnir, because of its mythological pedigree, wins out. And I was trying to stick with one per franchise.
William Wallace's sword.
Okay, fine.
Excalibur.
Yeah, but there's so many different iterations of it, and none of them are particularly great in film.
Aquaman's trident. That's more of a comic book thing. He's only got one or two, maybe. Chewbacca's bowcaster.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean those are.
I mean, I don't feel like they beat out some of the things that we picked.
Yeah, Maximus's Gladius from was cool, and the PP7. Cool. The PP7 is one I really wanted to take as a, but you did Golden Gun, so I figured I'll go somewhere else.
Right.
I went with the phaser. So, but yeah, PP7 is all the more iconic because of GoldenEye, right? Like the silenced PP7.
Yeah. No, I agree. Maybe it is more iconic than the Golden Gun since that was really only from one film.
Right. That's what I was thinking. But anyway, yeah, that's a wrap on our iconic movie weapons draft. thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for liking and following us on all the various social media networks. If this is your first time listening and you haven't followed us on those, you can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And subscribe to us on YouTube. We are on YouTube, so if you want to see our ugly mugs, you can do so on YouTube. Just Google Cine-Siblings. Like, bling, blink. Jamie, go ahead and sign us out.
All right, this has been the Cine-Siblings podcast. Thanks for watching or listening.
I'm Ian.
I'm James.
And until next time, go watch a new movie.
Or enjoy an old one.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Cine-Siblings podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Cine-Siblings Pod.